listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Oh, and away. He unmuted us, right? He did. He didn't unmute himself, but he unmuted everybody else.
Hey, you're talking to my guy all wrong.
Hey, you're talking to my guy all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
It's the wrong tone.
But again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
I like the dog in the back. Where does that come from? The dog. Welcome back to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast, Leatherhead Nation. Ruffy and I are back from Syracuse. Gonzo's joining us. It's the only podcast that brings the Firehouse kitchen table and all the guys with all the years and the fires and the experience and everything else, bro, to you. Welcome back. How are you, Gonzo?
I'm actually doing pretty good. How about you?
You
Had
are?
a great weekend, man.
You did.
It's a
Well,
good
happy
weekend.
Father's Day to everybody out there. We forgot that. To all you dads out there in the Leatherhead Nation. Me and Ruffy were getting it done up in Syracuse at the show.
Yeah.
A little bit slow, right, Ruff? A little
A little
bit.
slow, but we got these.
What do we get? The poker chips are out, baby.
They look
were
great.
selling like hotcakes. They were selling. Much to Ruffy's chagrin, they were selling.
If another guy comes up and asks me for a pizza cutter,
I like the guys who can't even say, "Oh, Lou, where's the pizza thing? The pizza cutter."
I'm like,
And
yeah.
He's laughing with his buddies.
I'm like, yeah. Go buy a couple of pair of underwear, then we'll get the pizza cutter.
I didn't even tell you this, God. So we're walking to the block party, which is me and Ruffy. We
this
don't
is
go
great.
to all these things, bro. We don't.
Sausage fest.
Yeah,
We
it's a
don't go to
sausage fest.
sausage
There's 20,000 guys and about 3 chicks, and
I'm out.
usually we're out. We go do a dinner, but we want to do Chief Lieb a favor. He asked us to come, so it was raining the whole friggin' weekend, bro.
Oh,
I'm walking down the street and I hit a piece of wet cardboard, bro, and I take a Charlie Brown header, right? I go
He goes
flying,
flying
bro.
past me.
Right.
were
Now,
you
the
trying
guy-
to break dance in the middle
I
of
don't know
everything
what I was
going there?
doing, bro. Now my partner, friend of 40-something years, he don't look to me and says, "Oh, whoa, buddy, you okay?" You know what he says? What the fuck are you doing?
That's what it
Yeah.
was. You're trying to do the backspin on
Yeah.
a piece of cardboard like they did back in the 80s.
You see him walking down the block. He's got his shorts on. He's so bow-legged. It's like ridiculous, right? So everybody's like walking by. We're like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Next thing I know, I don't even know what the hell he's doing.
Head over
He's
heels?
like, yeah, he's going head over heels, but he's trying to catch himself.
I
And
did.
I turn back around to like see what he tripped over, and there's nothing there. Like I'm like, what the heck? He's like, no, I was on a piece of wet cardboard or something. So I was crying. He's like, yeah, well, you should have been maybe like, hey Kubes, you all right?
You didn't do any of
No.
this?
You go. We go.
No, you go, right? You go.
You go.
Yo, Ruffy's line would go, "You go. You go. You go."
Stay away from the light, little buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
That's how
god!
that would be.
But then the best, guns, we get to the place. We get to the hotel, right, where they're having it because it's
Before
raining.
that, the guy behind me, I never met the guy in my life. He goes, "Whoa, buddy, are you okay? Are you all right?" I get it from a stranger. I get it from my friend. I go, "What
He
the
saw
fuck
you.
are you doing?" He was behind me. He saw the whole thing.
Well, you don't know you're a jackass. He might be a little concerned for you,
Yeah.
Yeah, Kubes tripped over the air. That's what he was tripping over.
Nope, it was a piece of wet cardboard. I stepped on it.
So we get to the hotel. Make a long story longer. We get to the hotel, and it's me, Kubes, and me. Right. So it's the 2 or 3 of us hanging out there, like staring at each other. The band is like warming up. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, when does this thing start? What are we doing? He's like, you want to get out of here? I'm like, way ahead of you, brother. We were like, we got the hell out of there. I'm like, oh my God. Thank God. That's why we don't go to those things, because they all suck. But they said it was good, like around an hour and a half later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I've been to the couple in FDIC. And even those can be questionable.
What, the hot dog parties?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sausage fest.
Screw that shit.
It definitely is. Listen, we got Frank Lieb, Chief Lieb. Speaking of Chief Lieb, coming on Thursday night. He wants to do Q&A. So if you got questions for a guy like Frank Lieb's, send them to me at kubespodcast@gmail.com and we'll read them. Or You can also take a couple of dollars out of your pocket, you cheap bastards, and go on the super chat and throw them out to him that night. He wants to do a lot of questions and answers as well as talk about some of his fires. Gentlemen,
That was funny.
All right.
Sure.
What do we got?
Armor Tough.
Oh, Vince. Nice.
Oh, we went to dinner with Vince.
Yeah.
Love Vince.
Here we go.
Armor Tough interlocking floor tiles are the best choice to replace new or aging, stained, or cracked concrete or epoxy floors. Here's why. Armor Tough tiles come with a lifetime warranty and are usually installed in 1 or 2 days, depending on the size of your station, with virtually no disruption in daily operation. Armor Tough interlocking tiles are guaranteed from chipping, cracking, peeling, breaking, or staining. Once installed, the tiles are non-skid and non-slip and meet the ADA standards for the friction coefficient. The tiles are stain resistant and impervious to any chemicals or volatiles that are used in the fire service. Once installed, your floor will be easy to clean with just soap and water. Install an Armor Tough tile floor in your apparatus bays, offices, training rooms, workshops, exercise rooms, kitchens, banquet halls, or any other room in your station. Call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697. Why install a breakable epoxy floor that will need replacing in 5 to 10 years when you could have a floor that will last a lifetime? Drop a halogen on an Armor Tough floor and you won't see any damage. Don't try this with concrete or epoxy. Join the hundreds of career and volunteer fire departments nationwide who have chosen an Armor Tough interlocking tile floor. Armor Tough interlocking tiles are half the price of epoxy and will last a lifetime without issue. Again, call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697.
He's a good guy, that Vince. I got to know him a little bit.
Did you get a chance to ask him about the friction coefficient?
I didn't, but I know that he was a cop in Newark in the late 70s, early 80s, bro. So, and then he's been in the fire service for 30 years or something. And he definitely loves being Italian, right, Ruff?
Oh my God, he was telling us about Frank Sinatra. He used to go to all of Frank Sinatra's
Italy, all this other stuff, right? He's got
Forget about it.
Forget about it, Tootie.
Forget about it, right? All right. Go ahead. Go with it.
Here we go. We're going to hear from our Mr. MC.
Need advice on how to start your podcast? Frustrated with the editing process? Can't find a voiceover guide? Hi, I'm Mike Colon, and I'm here to help. I'm the owner and founder of MC Media Editing Services, your premier consulting company for all things media, where I can offer you consulting advice on how to get started, and once you get started, editing, as well as voiceover work, all for a very reasonable price. If you want to reach me, you can contact me at 917-781-6189 or the email that you see listed here. I'm always available, and I'm always willing to help. Again, 917-781-6189. Why go to some giant consulting firm that's going to charge you an arm and a leg when you can just come to me? If you want to be stress-free, the way to go is to call MC. MC Media Editing Services, your premier consulting company.
There he is. He puts all our commercials together, that Mikey. As a matter of fact, he's putting together a couple of segments for us because we're taking a little hiatus in the summertime. So we'll have content. Mikey's putting it together. So why don't you just play something else that Mikey put together? So
Let's give you a little sample of what he does.
Go ahead.
If you're looking for a gift for that special firefighter in your life, then head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. Yes, GettinSaltyApparel.com. What do we have? Well, we carry hand-drawn original t-shirts, glassware such as mugs, shot glasses, pint glasses, engraved Arctic cooler cups, and much, much more. There's also a full line of firefighter tool bottle openers like Halligans, nozzles, and wine bottle opener accesses too. And if you're a cigar smoker, congratulations! We have partner sauce cigar cutters and humidors. Think we're done? Far from it. We got toiletry, gear bags, koozies, a full line of hats, decals, sweatshirts, and once again, so much more. We can also personalize most of these products, and if you want discounts, hey, you've come to the right place. We got discounts on large orders for promotion dinners, weddings, as well as installation dinners. Just head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com.
Just head on over.
See, that's the kind of stuff he puts together. And now we have poker chips with the cards, and coming soon, a poker chip case. You can buy the set. All right, show it again. Let me see it one more time.
Yeah, bring those chips up.
They come in 3 different colors. All right, 4 different colors. I'm sorry, and they have the Gettin Salty logo on every piece. Gettin Salty Apparel. Beautiful. All right, shall we get our guest in here?
Get him in here.
All right, Roof, you do it, bro. You know how to do it really well.
I mean, I don't know if I could call him Julius, for God's sakes.
Call him Jules.
Let's call him Jules. You all right, Jules? Jules.
Coming to the stage, engine 236, engine 224, firefighter Jules Ellison.
Woo! There he is. Oh, you got extra stuff in there too.
Yeah, that's a different one. That's a different one.
That's like the organ from the Ranger game.
Yeah.
Ranger game.
Whoa.
Or
Or baseball.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Islander game.
Oh, wow.
He's got a lot of stuff on that wall over there, huh?
You can buy those on eBay, really cheap.
What do you say, Jules? How's it going?
What's up there, Lou? How you been, babe?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's tell this guy's career. But before we do, we got to get patriotic because we did see MJ down there, right, Roof?
We
We
did.
hung out in the booth.
was great.
She took a
Sure
couple
was.
little hits with us, bro. You know, we may or may not have drink. I got to say, I like to thank all the guys who drop off booze. They think we're alcoholics or something, but more guys have been dropping off booze at that booth than you can shake a stick at. Even our buddy Bobby Duvall, he did too.
Ah.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sweet job, MJ.
All right.
Why is in the chat? You see that guy a mile away in the when you're in the booth, right, Roof?
Oh, Maguire? Oh, my God.
Yeah. I
The
love that guy.
Neanderthal coming in there.
Yeah, Neanderthal. How about just a big guy? It was like his knuckles were dragging on the ground or something. What are you saying? I mean, come on.
Wait. While on that note, look at him.
Look at his son. Look at him next to you. You look like a 10-year-old.
Good point. Oh, there's Jules in there, bro. He's
Yeah, I
in that picture.
I'm-
there.
I mean, he's a towering over you guys. Anyway,
He's huge. He's big.
My man.
My man.
Out of the shot, Matumbo. Where's that from, bro? Come on.
I don't-
That photo was at the Coliseum this year.
Oh, is that
That
where it
was
was,
it.
Jules?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we-
at the show at the Coliseum.
Yeah, at
Correct.
the show.
Oh,
We stopped
sweet.
by the booth. You know,
All right,
Ray,
enough of the shenanigans. Let's get
yeah,
into
Ray and I
Jules.
always been a photographer with us, you know? You never know.
You do. Oh, you were with Ray that day?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know,
Oh.
the Freeport,
Okay.
connection.
Oh. Okay. So let's get into Jules' career, bro. So where'd you grow up? What neighborhood you come from? What made you want to be a fireman? Any family in the fire? You know the truth. You know this.
Yeah, I grew up in Freeport, Long Island.
Oh,
Born in-
Freeport.
Freeport. I was born in 1955. And my father, my uncles, cousins, all in the fire service between Freeport and Selden, Long Island. And between my dad and my sister taking me to the firehouse since I was about 3 or 4 years old. It was just love at first sight. Love the fire trucks, and I believe my sister still has one of my papers from first grade when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up.
Is that right?
And my answer was a paid New York City fireman.
Is that right? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing all the racing back then, too? Like all the races and stuff? Like, was your father doing that stuff?
My father did it back in the day. He joined in 1935. He had 48 years in the department when he passed away.
35. Wow.
Yeah, 1935. Yep, that's a couple of years after he transferred to Hose 1. He started out in Freeport Engine Company, number 1. And then he transferred in 1955 because he moved south and was 2 blocks away to Firehouse.
Is that still the Firehouse?
No, that's the parking lot now. Firehouse now is right next to it. And that's
he's a
This
tall
is
dude.
what I have. Is this what it is right now? Is this it?
yeah, I wish. That's headquarters.
Okay.
That's the one up by the train station.
A little hard to make out.
Bring the picture of his dad back, bro. He's a tall guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 6'2".
What happened to you, bro?
I got my mother's height. Yeah.
Kubes taking height shots.
The mailman.
Right? Isn't that great? You're like, what the?
Got all my athletic ability from him. He played softball, ran tournament, same as I did. You know, he had the honor. He ran motorized. We ran old fashioned.
Wow, look at that.
Where's the picture? I thought there was a picture of your father in the military. Yeah. Who is this? This is your dad?
That's my dad from World War
Does
II.
it mean you look a little like De Niro in a little that chin?
82nd Airborne.
82nd Airborne? Where was he? I guess he was in the European campaign.
Yeah, they jumped D-Day.
Wow, he was a D-Day guy?
Yes, he didn't talk much about it when he came home, but thank God he made it home, and otherwise I wouldn't be here.
82nd Airborne on D-Day, bro. That's something to be proud of, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Where was this picture taken? Do you know where that was?
That I don't know.
Is it here or there?
I am not for sure, Lou, but it's a nice picture. You know, something I treasure. I have on my desk.
Yeah, no doubt.
You said you had brothers or you just your sister?
I got 4 sisters.
Wow, and they were in the volleys too?
No, not of them.
Oh.
But 2 of my sisters are deceased, and 2 are still. One's in Florida, one's in North Carolina.
Uh-huh. So who was there at Freeport? Because they were busy. We got a lot of guys from Freeport on. I know Big John McGuire, but who was there when you got there? It was like Paulie Hasheg and Hank Millay. Who was there?
No, they came in after I did.
Oh, so they were your bops.
Yeah. Hasheg and Newberry was there before me in truck company. Bruce Newberry. I got to be real friendly. Guys tell me I've been a paid fireman my whole life, because when I graduated high school, I started working in good old FW Woolworths on Main Street. I started there full time in '74, and truck company was right across the street on Church Street. And my 2 bosses let me run out the back door and go to calls during the day, which I thought was great. And then in '79,
while you were doing that, right?
Yeah, and in '79, my cousin knocked on my door. They were looking for a meter reader for the village of Freeport for the water department. So obviously my first question to him was, George, I got no problem. Can I go to fires during the day? He says, I don't give a shit what you do during the day. As long as you get your meters read,
that's it.
By the time period. So I went on to the village of Freeport for 11 years, which also helped when I retired from the job, because that 11 years carried on to my pension.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I end up with 30
So you run into fires, read meters, run into fires. They were doing a lot of work then?
Yes, we were.
Right?
In the 70s, Freeport was a hot little town.
Big Queen Anne's over there, right?
Queen Anne's, high ranches, a couple of stores here and there, apartment buildings, 2nd, 3rd floors.
Are they the busiest on Long Island? The busiest?
Hempstead's pretty busy.
Yeah, I was going to say we've always been back and forth between Hempstead, Long Beach,
Long Beach, oh,
Uniondale,
right?
Union Roosevelt. They're pretty busy also.
Yeah, those are all hotbeds.
Yes.
Yeah, I live here in Long Beach. They have one paid engine, and the rest.
Yeah,
are
they
all
got the paid engine, and the rest are volunteer.
But they do some work, man. They
do. We've gone mutual aid there quite a few times.
Does Freeport have any paid guys? Any paid, or it's all volunteer?
I think Long Beach is the last one, right? It used to be Garden City and Long Beach, and now I think Long Beach is the last paid one on the island.
Yeah, Garden City lost out, unfortunately, and going.
Bobby Sarno was saying Elmont too.
Oh, they have paid. They might have maybe a paid ambulance. I know Baldwin, I believe, has a paid ambulance now, and Oceanside, I believe, has also.
Right. Any good fire stories with Hank Millay or Hashhagen or any of them?
Yeah, we had a couple of good ones.
Well, let's hear it, bro.
52 Russell Place. I was second assistant chief, and we had a fire third floor behind the stove going all the way up through the roof. And Hank Malay were on the roof, and he says to me, I'm going to do a trench cut, save this building. I said, hey, that's what we got to do. Go for it, because I'm not a trucker. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Were you always in the engine? You were always in the engine?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's nothing like having a nozzle, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
But I my first 4.5 years in Freeport, I worked with Freeport Truck a lot because I ran across the street and rode the tiller rig, which was, talk about experience. Try get up riding the side of that rig going down Sunrise Highway, taking up 2 lanes of traffic.
That's pretty crazy, man.
It certainly was.
Ruffy, you love that trench cut. Hank was calling for a trench cut. You love those trench cuts. Huh?
Let me ask you this. Did you save the building?
Yes, we did.
Woo! It worked. We got one.
We got one.
All right. That's all. That's worth it.
I heard those 2 words, trench cut and on a roof.
Right.
I hear you. Yeah. And a couple of good stories with Bruce. That's my third assistant. Couple of crazy
who was the
things.
guys that who were the guys that you looked up to when you first got there? Like who was teaching you when you first got there?
When I got first joined in the Hose 1, I had guys like Tommy Seaman, Jack Combs, Rod Schimmel, Skippy Ford. Skippy Ford was taught me how to drive the 61 Mac. I never drove stick shift in my life, and I became a student driver at 19. And he taught me the pump was not too difficult at first. You know, it got pretty easy. But driving, I was like, you got to double clutch it. And I'm like, got to double clutch it. Yeah, you got to clutch it, get it out of gear, clutch it, put back in gear. So my cousin Bobby Crut worked on a tow truck. So he took me out on his tow truck a few nights, teach me how to shift and get the stick shift down to a science. And by the time I got in the fire truck, it came natural. And
you were driving out like a raped ape by that time, right?
Yeah, the rest was history. Then now it's all automatic, so it's a piece of cake.
Was your dad? Was he still around when you were working? Were you guys working together? Was your uncle working? You guys were working together?
That's one thing. After I got married, and back then we needed 3 guys to roll the rig. And plenty of times I'd roll out to be 2 of us and like, where you going? I said, my father's retired from the village highway department. I said, he's going to be standing on the corner waiting for us. And go down 2 blocks and he'd be standing out front.
That's great, man. Pick him up.
Jump in the jump seat. Pick
Come
him up,
on. That's freaking awesome.
and away we go.
Was he an officer too, or was he just a fireman?
Just a fireman. 48 years.
Somebody's got to be just a fireman
Is your dad still around?
No, he passed away in 83. And if it was in this day and age, it would have been a line of duty death.
What happened?
We had a call that morning, about 11:15. And I always went to Hose 1 to drive during the day, but it also depended where I was working, where I was reading meters. I'd go to the closest firehouse. That morning, I was north of Sunrise Highway, and for me to cross Sunrise Highway, Merrick Road with a village vehicle with no lights or nothing. So I went to headquarters, and I rode Hose 2. So, nonsense call. I get back. A little while later, it's about 11:45, lunchtime. I stop at the firehouse real quick, and a couple of guys are sitting there, and I'm like, boy, your old man's pissed at you. I'm like, what? He goes, he heard you on the front seat of Hose 2. You didn't come down here to drive, and we didn't roll. We had no chauffeur.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, oh, boy. So I said, all right, after lunch, I'll stop by the house. So after lunch, I go back up to Village Hall to our base there for the water department, our office. And police headquarters is calling me on the radio.
Oh,
for a Signal 11 police desk forthwith. I'm like, what the hell they want me for forthwith? And police headquarters was right above us. We were in the basement office in the Village Hall. So I ran upstairs, and Sergeant Steve Yotis, who just passed away recently, great guy, God rest his soul, he says, yo, dude, you got to get to your house right away. Your father's having a heart attack. And I was like, what? Whoa, what? He says, yeah, get home. He says, the ambulance is there. So I jump in the car, and just as I get there, they're pulling away in the ambulance. Grab my mother. She's going to get my sister. I'll meet you at the hospital. But unfortunately, he had an aneurysm and didn't make it. And today it'd be a line of duty death because it was an hour and a half after the call.
Yeah. How old was he?
68.
It's not that old, man.
No.
So why don't you put some volley lights in the meter reading car, bro?
They kind of frowned on that.
They frowned upon that.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite line.
That would have been great, right, bro? Here
Oh,
comes
it
the water
would have
guy.
been.
Here comes the water guy, lights and sirens.
When I made chief, I had that much in my water car.
Speaking about you making chief, bro, somebody asked me this question here. Let me see. I had a lot of birds chirping in my ear about you, bro. Ask him about the cotton crotch rappers when he was chief.
Who?
The cotton crotch rappers, it says, when he was the chief.
Rapper like singing?
I don't know. Rappers, cotton crotch rappers when he was chief.
Couldn't have been
Something
that
between your
exciting.
legs and your crotch area. I mean,
I don't know.
I guess the other thing I could think of, we're on Bayview and Atlantic at an auto accident, and some girl come over and she wanted to have a picture taken wearing a Chiefs helmet. So I, of course, the nice guy that I am, I said, "Yeah, put my helmet on," and she puts her arm around me and lifts her leg up, and I guess the photo,
Nice.
she had no panties on.
Oh.
Is that frowned upon?
Is that frowned upon? By his wife, it is.
Yeah. We didn't realize it until a few days later when the guy who took the photo had the photo developed. I'm like, holy Christ.
Yeah, he didn't realize it until months later at the dinner dance when they were doing a slideshow.
Well, hold on. Was that the 70s? Was that the 70s back then? Or was that like the 90s? You know what? Like,
It might have been a lot of, like a weed whack that shit to get in there, bro. Right. Have the machete. Hold on, let me get in there.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
Oh, all right. So
all right.
a little bit more,
Yeah.
Still.
All right, so 89. When did you take the test anyway? Which
I
test
took the
did you
test
take?
in 82.
Is that the test that got
Yep.
challenged by the women?
Yes, it was.
So you
Plus
took
we
it in
said-
82.
And I didn't get
And then
high
you got
till
caught up.
89.
You didn't get high till 89. Wow.
34 years old. I thought that's once 85
Wow.
passed, and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting on a job, And when I got the letter in, I guess it was like July, August, that they've been hiring off that list, and I'm like, and my list number was 3483, and I'm like, I don't have a shot in hell. 34. I got at 98 on the written, 95 on the physical, and all of a sudden I got the letter. Hey, and
That was
the
like
first-
gold, right, bro?
The first letter I got, the class was supposed to start the end of September, so I was like, oh man, this is great. And then a week later, another letter in the mail. Class has been canceled, on hold. We'll keep you advised. I'm like,
shit.
I'm like,
That's
I'm
it.
done.
That's done. Yeah.
Yeah. And then middle of October, got the letter.
Wow.
Swam in date, November 12th, 1989. I was like,
That was like the Willy Wonka sweepstakes in the mail for you, bro. The golden ticket.
the oldest proby class. They said at the time that
Is
they
that
said
right?
they ever
Everybody was
had
in their
it.
30s?
Yeah, everybody's in their 30s. I was like, holy cow. Then, of
How many
course,
guys in the Proby class, Jules?
I want to say 300.
Wow, that's a big class, man.
Yeah, it was a big class.
I got a picture of it. I got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
rest
there's
his soul.
what's his name there?
Dave Weiss.
Dave Weiss
Oh
is in
my
your class?
God.
Yeah.
Holy
Funny
shit.
bastard.
Yeah, we myself, Tommy Spagnola, and Billy St. George all pulled together.
Billy St. George. What a
Yeah.
nice guy, man.
Yeah, he was 236. Started out in 79 Indian up in the Bronx. He's also an ex-chief of Baldwin. We were chiefs together for 3 years.
Right.
And
Then he went down to the tool room or something, right? Wasn't he doing
yeah, tool room, and then I think research development.
Oh, research and development. Right,
And
right.
he
right,
jumped
right.
in. He jumped in the river. He saved somebody somehow. Or
Dave
something.
Weiss, yeah.
Yeah,
That's how we got
That's how we got
the
the
rescue.
Rescue
One.
one, right? I remember the story.
Yeah, he's class act. But we get together. We're going to be the carpool, so everyone's whacking up. You're going to drive a week. You're going to drive a week. So of course, Dave looks at me and goes, "So we're going to take the red car to the Rock when it's your turn to drive?" I said, "I don't think so."
I don't think so. I don't know.
But you know what? Guys still did it, bro. We had guys still doing it in Proby
That's
school.
why I hear but they park outside. I left
Yeah.
at home, and
That's-
Are you crazy?
I
man?
would never.
And then,
Put a
you know-
bullseye on your back, bringing a
You-
volley chief car to the Rock.
we get sworn in now on November 12th, and I see Rescue 1 pull up. I think nothing of it. who gets off the rig?
Hosh.
The two of my buddies, Bruce Newberry.
Oh, Newberry.
And God rest his soul, Chief Ed Garrity.
Oh, wow.
And I knew Ed from riding Freeport all the time back in the day. They come in to rescue one with either Hash or Bruce, and they'd have to call the chief to get permission for them to ride. I got to the point, because they're always calling me because I worked in town. I said, hey, if Ed comes in or anybody else from Rescue One, just tell them to get on the damn rig. Don't bother calling me. I know they know what they're doing. So, of course, we get all sworn in, and all I keep hearing is, hey, congratulations, Chief. Congratulations.
We're shouting out your government, bro.
I'm looking straight ahead. I ain't looking. I'm mumbling to myself, those sons of bitches.
Yeah,
come on, hey, Chief. And the guy behind me, this guy Mike in my squad goes, hey, because I think they're yelling to you. I said, no, I thought they were yelling to you. You a chief somewhere? No, they're yelling to you. I said, they ain't yelling to me. Goes,
when did you become chief? When did you become chief?
I became chief in 86 to 90. So I was chief of Freeport when I went to proby school.
Oh, nice.
So
I thought they were talking to you. I thought you locked it up.
Soon got out of proby school. Proby school was a lot of fun, Jay Tavalero, one of our instructors, he was the commissioner at Oceanside at the time. I guess about a third or fourth week at the Rock training, we're going to do a revolution car fire, and he has our group together, and he's telling us, where the guys sit on the rig. So he picks out a guy for nozzle man, in the backup, control, and the door. Okay, this is where you guys sit. And then, of course, he goes, then we need somebody to ride the front seat, some officer in charge, somebody who should have experience with that. Ellison, I think you should have experience in riding the front seat. Get up and I'm like, really?
You know it. Some of my bitch.
Cat's out the bag, bro.
Here you go, get my paycheck at the proby school. Firefighter Ellison here to get paid, Oh, Chief Ellison. I'm like, oh my God, spreading like wildfire.
Tell a fireman, bro.
I hear you.
Travels.
Was Sacamano there?
Yeah, he was there. I got one of our guys in Freeport had Thanksgiving dinner at his house, and two of the members from his company were there. And the guy John's father-in-law happened to be on light duty up in the office up there. He was getting ready to retire. He had another week and a half left. So when you went upstairs, you had to knock on that piece of wood and state your name. And you had to clean up,
How do you remember that, man? That's freaking crazy. I remember that.
Something I'll never forget because it was funny, but it wasn't funny. So the two guys ahead of me, they go in. I knock on the wood. Probationary firefighter Ellison here to clean the office. And he swings out of his chair, looks at me and goes, what did you say your name was? I said, probationary firefighter Ellison, sir. He says, you better knock a little louder because I can't hear you. So I'm like, what the hell did I do? So I bang on this thing again. He goes, oh, so you're that guy that chief of that rinky-dink fire department in Freeport. And my chin hit the ground like, holy shit. How's this guy? Who is this guy, And of course, he turns around to Sacramento. Hey, chief, how would you like to have a volley chief get you a cup of coffee? I'm like, you gotta be.
While you're out, clean his toilet bowls, all right, chief?
So he's like, yeah, that sounds good. Tell him milk with 2 sugars. And my hands, I'm telling you, my hands are shaking like a freaking leaf. I'm like, holy shit. Get him his coffee, set it down, we finished cleaning up. I'm like, what the hell? So then I'm leaving. The guy says, hey, by the way, he says, your buddy John says hello. Yeah. So I'm like, I know a lot of Johns. Can I get a last name with that? Gives me the last name. And now I'm like, So that weekend back in Freeport, we have a run. So I call his company and say, hey, is so-and-so on board? Yes, he is. I said, send him over to my car. He walks over to my car. I put the window down. I got him by the throat. And I'm like, who is this guy? That would be my father-in-law. I'm like, why did you tell him? I didn't tell him. Richie and Mike told him. They were at my house for dinner, and they said, oh, our chief's at the... I'm like, oh, my God. He's making my life miserable these last couple of days. Yeah, that's okay. He's retiring next week. I'm like, thank God.
John Sacamato say he'll step on your cock back then, too, because that was his big thing. I'll step on your cock.
Nah, he didn't, I thought it'd be worse, but it wasn't that bad. I was like, man, but, getting the chief a cup of coffee, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, why me?
Yeah, you're the chief. Ruff, when you were there, did he say that?
Oh, yeah.
On your cock. Yeah,
that was his main thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
of course.
All right. So how do you get? You finish proby school and you go to 24. So you didn't know anybody over there, or what happened? What?
Nah, in fact, when I got to 224, they wanted to know who I knew to get there. I'm like, I said, I know a couple of guys, but this was. They asked me where I wanted to go. I just told them I wanted to go to Engine Company in Brooklyn. Yeah, so the one guy says, "Oh, you just came to a retirement home." It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me, right?
What street is 224 on?
Hicks, between
Hicks.
State and
Oh,
Drummond.
Hicks Street, right.
Yeah.
In fact, the first time going there, I drove right past it. It blends right in with the rest of the brownstones.
Right.
I drove right past it. I'm looking. All of a sudden, as I drove past it, I'm like, holy Christ. So I had to go around the block again. Yeah, I'm your new proby.
Who was the
Did you,
boss there when you got there?
Captain McCarthy, who turned out later on was the chief in the 3-9 when I was in 236. So I hooked on, and I'd never forget my first run. I gave me my group chart, the whole bit. They gave me my little locker. And my first tour was a Saturday. And our first run, about 10 after 10 that morning, we got relocated to 201. And I had backup, so my back's to the chauffeur. Richie Sawley jumps in the seat. He's across from me, and he looks at me, and we pull out the door, and I'm like, he's like, "What are you smiling about?" I said, "I can't believe I'm finally getting paid to do something I love to do. Ride a fire truck and go to fires. This is great. And I got a fucking grin on my face.
Right.
Like, ooh, this is the best."
Did he tell you were doing it wrong? You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I was doing it, Steven.
They're doing it.
Roll the hose now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
What was that, guys?
What was that?
Roll the hose now.
Rolls a hole out,
Roll
Proby.
those now.
Yeah, so I spent.
Nice.
I got there in January of 1990 until February of 96.
You catch any work there?
Excuse me?
Did you catch any work there?
Yeah, we caught a few.
Yeah.
You
You didn't do
No.
St. George's,
not a
hotel
whole hell of a
fire?
lot, but we had a
Were you
Group of
working for
jobs
the
they
St.
were
for the St. George's Hotel or what work?
on vacation.
Oh,
There you go, John. He missed it. Oh no.
Leaving to go on vacation, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're getting ready to leave, and I see it on the news. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me! My groups are working. I would have been there." I'm like, it just wasn't meant to be.
What did they see there? What did they do with that job?
That I really couldn't tell you. Besides, I know they had a lot of fire.
Yeah.
Oh, there was all hands all over the place, man. There was
Oh,
all
yeah.
hands across the street, up to,
It was
every
second
building.
due district, but I believe 205 was on another run, so they were first due.
Who was
They-
224? I thought 226 was first due there. No.
Nah,
Wow.
226 is on State Street. They were probably they might have been first on the second alarm.
Oh shit! I thought they were first there. Maybe my bearings are off there. But
Your internet
224
looks
was
like
first
crap,
too.
too.
I'm telling you.
Who,
your
mine?
internet's all-
Yeah.
your internet's all jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting to break up there.
You're freezing a little bit.
Who were some of the guys there that you remember that like you kind of took you under their wing? Or just, I mean, I know you were doing the volley stuff, but who was teaching this stuff at the firehouse?
Yeah, in 224, I had Richie Sawley. Don Taney was one of the senior seated chauffeurs. Bobby Ryan, great guy. Hazel, a couple of real good guys. And then Richie Feliciano, he's another seated chauffeur. I didn't work with him much, but he was good. But usually the guys on the back step, Jimmy Kelty, another good guy. I mean, it was once they found out that Dominic, first day in the fires, first thing you from Long Island? You must be a volley. I said, yeah. And they were like, holy shit, you admit that? I said, yeah, I'm proud. I said, where do you guys live? They all live on Staten Island. I said, well, I live on Long Island, the real island.
That's a bitch to get to, too, right?
You
I
guys are in
mean, from where you
Staten
were.
Island, you're famous for the dump. We're famous for having volunteers. And they're like, oh, look at this,
Look at this guy with his mouth
Look
over
at
here.
this talking already.
But,
A little spicy.
yeah. So, and then they found out about 2-3 weeks later. So I didn't tell them I was chief. I just told them I was a volunteer in Freeport. So now we're meeting. Dominic was coming out to Long Island to meet his cousin. So he goes, hey, I got your check. I'll meet you in Freeport. It's okay. So I met him and I had the chief's car. He gets out of his car and he goes, holy shit, that's yours? I'm like, yeah, until April. He goes, you didn't tell us you were chief. I said, you didn't ask. you just asked if I was volley. So then I started bringing the chief's car to work, and they loved me after that because Chief Gander was the commander in the 3-2. He'd pull up, see the chief's car out front, and he'd walk in, who's like he didn't know whose car is that? I said mine, Oh, then we start talking about different things. That one picture you have of me on the fly behind me, that was Hempstead. We were there on a mutual aid, and we started talking about that. Yeah, and whatever he came in for, he forgot what he was going to yell at us for, and we started talking volley talk. So every guy's, oh man, we like when Jules is working, when Gaines is working, because they start talking volley stuff.
You take the chief out of here, you don't have to worry about nothing. What's that fire down below there with the bucket?
That's the same one.
Oh, same job.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Hempstead.
Oh, you mutual aid in Hempstead.
Maybe we're gonna do so
one
good
of the
there.
fires we went over in Boston. We got there, grabbed the chief. Hey, we need something from Freeport. He goes, yeah, get me an engine and a ladder. No problem.
Yeah.
Next thing he had us up on the roof, and
How long were you chief for?
4 years. It's a 4-year term.
They don't have
86
like
hours.
assistant chief.
Yeah, third
double-
assistant. Yeah, then you move up to chief. So I was chief of the department 89 to 90. I got out in April 1990.
Chief of department. I know, they're just
340 guys.
No, not bad.
Was it a bitch getting the 224? Like from Long Island? That's got
Oh
pain
my
in the
God,
ass, ain't it?
Lou, it was horrible. A good day, hour 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's
man.
forget about now. If you tried to do that now, that was then. Do that now. You
And
couldn't
leaving
even
the
do
rain,
it. Forget it.
2.5 hours to get home in the rain. It was like, oh my God. So about 3.5 years on the job, one of our good lieutenants, Lieutenant Golden, was promoted at 236. And he's like, what are you doing? You got to go to 236. I said, I know. I got a couple of my buddies there. He goes, who do you know there? I said, Peter Stroll, Billy Telford. Oh my God, I work with those guys. I said, yeah, every time they see me, they break my balls. When are you going to come to 236? So I put a paper in. Chief Gander wouldn't sign it because I was in first grade.
That was a lot of those. My cousin couldn't get out. He went to 101. And
Okay, Red Hook.
he couldn't get out of that until
He was first grade?
Yeah,
first
5
grade.
years.
Yeah, Gander was big on that, making first grade. So after I made first grade, I finally put the paper in, and we're out underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, multi-unit drill. And he pulls up. He gives me one of these. So I shut down the deck on it, come down. And he goes, "What's this?" I said, "It's called a transfer paper, Chief, and I have first grade." See ya. He looks at me so clever. He goes, what do you want to go there for? I said, because I'm not getting any younger. I said, I'm freaking 40 years old.
Holy shit, man. That's crazy.
I want to fight fires. I said, and they got nothing but pigeon coops. I said, there might be pigeon coops, Chief, but at least it's a fire.
Pigeon coops.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
So he's all right, you have a hook. And that's the hook. Ed Garrity was captain. And my mentor with him with Freeport, letting him ride Freeport rigs, So I give him a buzz and I said, hey, Cap, hey, how you doing, Chief? I said, good. I said, I just want to let you know I'm putting my paper in a transfer to 236. He's okay. He says, right now we have no openings, but one of our guys might be going to squad 1. I said, all right. I said, just wanted to give you a heads up. I stopped by there the other day. You weren't there, but, I saw a couple of guys. So he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, you have any hooks in the job? I said, besides you, the only hook I know is Ray McGuire. He knows more people in the job than I do, and he ain't even on the job.
Yeah.
So he laughs. He's, yeah. So as soon as I hang up the phone with him, I call my brother Ray. I'm like, hey, I just dropped your name with Ed Garrity. I said, I just put my paper in, transfer. He says, no problem. He says, I'm just happened to go into his house tonight for a surprise birthday party for him. So I said, okay.
Dude, that guy knows, from somebody not being on the job, that guy knows everybody.
Yeah, he's one hell of a guy, ain't he?
He's a great guy. I love that guy, man. Him and his brother. I love that too, man.
He's a brother, man. Let me tell you. He's my right-hand man, one of the best assistant chiefs. I mean, I had 3 good assistant chiefs. I was a Freeport. Him, I had Kevin Knoll, who happened to be a Freeport police officer, and Bruce Newberry. Couldn't ask for 3 better guys, especially the 8 weeks, 9 weeks I was in proby school. I was practically out of Freeport. And those 3 guys ran the department while I was gone. Couldn't ask for better 3 guys to be an assistant chief with.
No, what made you pick 236?
Well, I knew Peter Stroll, and
Is that
just
why you
passing it every day, and I like you sitting me, Sam.
Yeah.
That probably cut an hour off your commute. For God's
easy,
sakes, right?
Easy.
They're right on the border.
What were your second and third choices? You put down second and third choices?
No.
Good man.
Even Gander goes, how about your second choice? I said, there's no second choice. It's 236, so I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, Ruff, tell him now. Go ahead, tell him. Tell him. I always say.
It seemed like I went to 290. I was standing there so many times driving these guys because there's no pride in that place, you know.
What?
No pride in that place.
I used to tell them, if you guys had pride, you'd go to chauffeur school. Because I would have to come down here, you know.
I wouldn't have to be here in this shit shop.
Then they tell me, you know, a couple of times I go down there, the newer guys didn't know I was a chauffeur, and they're telling me, hey, just to let you know, he goes, we get out quick. I said, oh, yeah? I said, well, you're not going anywhere without me because I'm driving this piece of shit today.
And if 236 is second due there, we're going to be sitting here for a while.
You know
Are you that close, bro? Did you run into each other?
Nah,
Yeah,
not
no.
really. I mean, we run first and
It's
third,
funny.
but
We're in the same battalion, but
it's
They're
spread out. We would see 332
they're west of
and
us
2
further.
and a quarter.
We ran in with 2 and a quarter and 107, 332, 175, and we go to Queens a lot. We ran in with Queens, 294, 293, 331.
Yeah, we wouldn't see them until.
Did you guys know each other though when you were in 90?
Yeah.
Yeah,
remember
and I
you did.
drove them. Somebody had to get them to fires.
Well,
You know. So
All
anyway,
right,
so back with the
Yeah.
other story. So that Sunday morning, Ray calls me and says, "Hey," he says, "you didn't hear from me, but you're going to 236." So I'm happy as a pig and shit. I'm like, oh my God. He goes, "But Ed's gonna be calling you later when he wakes up." So later on that afternoon, Ed calls me. He says, "Your boy Ray drives a hard bargain, but if I want to keep going with Freeport to different affairs and to the Firehouse Expo, congratulations, you're in 236."
wow.
I said, "Hey, thanks, Cap. I really appreciate it." And he goes, "I'll even put you in with your volley friends from Oceanside and Baldwin." He put me in with Peter Stroll and Billy St. George.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That was cool. And the guys in 236, I couldn't ask for a better bunch of guys to work with. Let me tell you.
What was your first tour like? You remember your first tour? Like, did you have a job that day or not? What was your first job?
Nah, I was there about a week and a half before you had our first job. You know, a little small basin fire on Fountain. But just working with Peter Stroll as a chauffeur, Steve Cassidy, crazy as hell, great guy. We used to drive Pete Stroll nuts. My first 24 partner was Joseph Sterry. We'd get our calendars out, and we'd be doing 24s for the month. Pete would be going nuts. How the hell do you know what's going on at the end of the week, let alone the end of the month? And I said, well, he knows his side job, my side job, you know, what he does, what I do.
We used to do that. Yeah, if you had to switch, you would switch, but you would have to set up.
So we'd have it all, and Pete would go nuts. So then about 2 or 3 months into it, I grabbed Joe one morning. I said, "Hey," I said, "when you go downstairs, besides doing this month, let's do 24s for next month. We'll drive Pete nuts." So we go downstairs, and I'm like, "Hey, you got your calendar?" Now we get the calendar out, and I'm like, "Okay, I got a softball game here, so I can't do that. I got this here at Freeport, I can't." So we do the 24s, and I said, "Okay, how about next month?" And Pete's like, "Are you fucking guys kidding me?" I'm like, "What? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. You guys are doing next month already?" I said, "Yeah, Pete." I said, "We have our life figured out already." And we go to the next month, and he's going ape shit. I can't believe it.
That's good.
So you work with Steve Cassidy?
Yeah, work with Cassidy.
I imagine he was the delegate, right, for 236 when you got there?
Yeah.
So he's the delegate. He winds up being the president.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
I remember that when he was running.
And that's, I mean, Freer told him, "Steve, you know a lot of stuff. Why don't you just run for president?" First, he was like, nah, I don't want to get involved with that shit. Then a couple other guys finally talked him into it, and it just took off and did a hell of a job.
He did a great job. He did.
Certainly did. You know?
So those guys, they come back and work their roster staffings though with the Firehouse, right?
I don't know.
No,
I
you
think
didn't see him after
some
that?
guys do, but most guys don't come back. I don't think, but they
Yeah.
can.
I know that's what I heard they could, but if he did it when I wasn't working. 'Cause
Right.
you know.
Yeah, you would remember that.
Yeah. But then
What is he doing
know.
now?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's not involved with the unions anymore, or he didn't go to the national or anything like that.
I don't know what he did. You know, the last time I saw him was two years ago at our luncheon. He came in. This past year he wasn't there. So. But,
All right, so give us some fire stories from the
Hold on,
hotbed.
guys. I want to see that. There was a couple pictures of the Firehouse. You got to see a picture. The one, yeah, that was freaking awesome. That's one of the firehouses that has the BFD. Yeah,
Brooklyn Fire Department on there.
Fire
Yeah,
Department.
they don't have that on the door anymore, though.
No.
Right?
No.
We had a car crash through.
Oh, there's that, right?
And it repainted. That's the new T-shirt they came up with a couple of years ago. If you ain't first, you're last.
Ricky Bobby.
And then
That's the Firehouse.
that's the Firehouse, yeah.
That's it. Yep.
That's a
All
cool.
alone.
It looks like
Yes.
235 a little, right? 235.
It does.
It does. The only thing I believe different is 235. Their door, our door is here on the right side. Their door is on the left.
And the conduit, you can't see it. It's just right to the left. There's like
Conduit and
it's like Queens Boulevard.
That's what made it so great right there, right? Because you could turn out real quick and be on the conduit.
oh yeah, going to Queens, Cross Bay Boulevard. We got like a shot.
Would you go that far over by on Golden Pond over there?
Yeah,
You
second due, third due. But we
not
get
that
in
often. I would imagine.
in middle of the night, no traffic.
We used to come there. You guys had the bottles, right? Did you have the bottles over there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember we
What
used to
bottles?
come there for bottles. What
Scott
bottles?
We had the
Talk about
we were
a fires.
Cascade. You were the Cascade system.
Cascade. They been all the empties
What
to our
bottles?
place. And they
Bottles?
pick up some our
Bottles
place.
you speak
Beer,
of.
beer bottles. What bottles?
beer.
I do it. I swear to God, I thought that you were talking about beer bottle things. I'm like, what are you guys with the bottles? I'm like, no, where's the roofie going?
God.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good guys pass with 236. I had the pleasure of driving Sirocco. He's now a division commander now up in the Bronx. Paul Canapis.
Canapis. I like Paul. Yeah, I like Paul.
Yeah, he's captain of 155, I believe.
Is that right? That's right. You know what? I think I remember that. Yeah, I like
Like
Paul.
this
We
guy.
got along well.
Yeah, drove D Toronto. Gene was a rip. He was a great guy to work with. Jimmy Martinesian.
Martin Easton.
How long were you there before they sent you to chauffeur school? Were you a chauffeur ready when you went there?
No, they sent me to chauffeur school. I was there about 2 years. And they called me at home. He says, I'm going to send you to chauffeur school. I said, okay. And then I became a backup chauffeur. And, of course, first day back out of chauffeur school, I walk in the firehouse. And, of course, big chalkboard. ECC to 290. See you, Jules. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
At least you go to fires then.
Did you see what somebody wrote there? I saw that quick. Guys, pull up back up.
I thought you
You're going to listen to a guy named Billy Byrne?
Then 290. Those who know.
Yeah, those who know. You
There
can't have
you
a
go.
last
look
name
at-
Byrne. Yeah.
That's not his
My name's
real name,
Joey
Billy
Flame. Yeah, those who know, know.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Hey, the truth hurts. What can I tell you?
Oh, maybe it does. I don't
I got
know.
no more use for this guy.
I got no
Yeah,
more.
that's right. Lou, you're gone.
Listen, I don't know, but Billy Byrne was talking to my friend the wrong way, guns. You know what I mean?
You mean
Hey, you're talking to my guy all wrong. It's wrong tone.
It's the wrong
Do it
tone.
again. I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Hey, Billy Byrne, you're talking to my guy Rookie all wrong.
Oh, I fucking love it.
You do it again, stab you in the face with a hot
I'll
poker.
stab you in the face with a hot poker. Who was the red? There was a captain there, the redheaded guy. What was his name?
Oh, yeah.
Were you there? You were still there then, right?
Yeah, I was still there with that. Yeah,
I forget what his name was. He seemed like a nice guy too, if I remember right.
Yeah, Huey Mulligan was one of the best captains we had there. He was good. And Kevin Kevin McCabe left as a lieutenant and came back as captain.
That's the guy. Isn't that the guy? That's not the guy.
No,
I thought that was. I remember that name. I remember him.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he ended up unfortunately breaking his back. They hit a pothole, sinkhole.
Stinkhole. Still pile on the rabbit now because Grogan Photos is getting over. He says 236 definitely better run to work ratio than 290. There's a dog pile on the rabbit now.
Yeah, but it's a no-brainer. We all know that.
Yeah, if that was the case, I go to 332. You know, or two.
They do have a good run to work.
Hey, 332 is the best second due engine in East New York.
Oh, shots fired here, bro. Hold on, man.
Good place. 332, 175. Great place. Good place, guys.
Bunch of good guys. Who would you run in the most with? 175 or 107?
Yeah, probably about the same. They were first and second dudes of all our boxes, just about.
You ran in 143?
Yeah, 143 when we went to Queens or the north side. But anything down south there was 107 or 175.
Now Ronzoni used to say 107, the busiest truck in Queens, right? Is that what 236 says? Busiest engine in Queens?
Yeah. That's what some of my guys tell us. 236, you guys are Queens, right? I'm like, well, it seems that way because we're always going there, but
McKeon was the guy's name. McKeon was
McKeon, that's it. Yeah.
That's right.
That's Billy Byrne thrown in there. Billy Byrne's got to be on the job, bro. Billy Byrne, will you step forward and give us your real name?
Give us
Billy
a little
Byrne?
details. Give us a little clue you might be.
Because you ruffled my buddy's feathers over here, all right?
Hey,
we don't like feathers getting ruffled, all right?
Hey.
Another good lieutenant was Mike Delina. Delina was a rip. And he was.
I don't know if I remember him.
Yeah, he retired as the battalion chief. He was a really good guy. He was just before Kannapolis. But he was.
When did Paul get there? In the early 2000s, probably? Mid 2000s?
Yeah, I would say.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
why does that name sound familiar, Ruffy? Was he a neighborhood guy? Was he?
Kannapolis?
Yeah. No?
I don't know.
Where did he work as a fireman?
I don't know. I only know him from there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you work at 236, Ruff, when you were bouncing?
I mean, I worked there. I worked there a few times, I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't.
236.
I remember working there.
I guess you caught no work.
I tried to get him to
I
come
caught
there
a job.
one time,
I caught a job in Queens. Yeah, actually, that was the case. He did.
Yeah,
what happened?
A couple of times I said, "Why don't you come over here with us?"
I think I caught a job in Queens one time.
Yeah.
That was like all weird to me. That the conduit there. You know how it cut across there, and like how they would cut across the conduit to get to the north side of.
Yeah.
You used to do like some Funguli thing to get through the traffic.
Yeah. And then Paulie Kannapolis, the one we have a run one morning. How many times did we go to Shepherd? A couple of jobs on Shepherd. 3:00 in the morning. I'm in La La Land. Let's go 236, first due, Shepherd. So I get on the rig. I pull out and I'm like, I brain freeze. I'm like, where the hell? So I'm looking at Kannapolis. I'm like, Lou, which way is Shepherd? And he's looking at me like, you're kidding me, right? And I'm like,
just went there 3 times.
Yeah. I'm like, Lou, is it to the left or to the right? And he looks at me and goes, to the left, Jules, to the left. I'm like, oh. Then it popped in my head. Now I know where I'm going. Okay. But
those blocks right there to the left. What's that? What's the street that's right in front of the firehouse? What is that?
You got Dasha. That real narrow.
There was like 3 or 4 blocks right there that were like frames, and also those were good blocks in there.
Yeah, quite a few.
Where is that? Is that over by Franklin K. Lane over there? Is that where you used to go over there? Is that
Franklin K. Lane? But we're like second due.
It's north.
That's the north.
Like the Autumn Street, Autumn, and all those other streets over there.
Yeah, that's right by the firehouse. So
how to get? Wasn't there like a train thing there or something? How did you? I remember going like through something. You had to go through to get north. It was like a little bit of a weird thing. You couldn't go
going down. If you go down Fountain,
you can go straight north on Fountain from there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't remember.
Logan. Most of the time we took Logan.
Right.
Yeah, that was a decent run.
How long were you there before you got the seat, Jules?
Probably about 4 years. I was a backup between John Lennon, Stroll, Kenny Gianelli, another good guy, a lot of laughs. And then Lennon got promoted, and then I got the seat, and I started doing 24s with Pete Stroll.
But by the month? No.
Yeah, no, it was by the day.
Yeah, figured.
Hey Pete,
he got his
tomorrow.
revenge. Yeah.
What are we doing tomorrow? Are you going in or am I going in?
You want to set up the next set? Yeah, well, I'll talk to you in a couple of days.
Yeah.
God.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Another good guy in 236, and a great story. Glenn Bullock ended up going to Rescue 1.
Oh, great guy, man.
He calls me up one morning, coming early for him. They're gonna go hunting. He wants to leave by 5. Yeah, no problem. I'm coming in. So I get there about 4:45. I go up, change. What do you got? He goes, I got the nozzle. Okay, gotcha. He leaves. He can't be out the door 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
You knew what was happening.
We catch a second job at 332. We pull up. 332 has their line. They took their second line and laid it in the street for us. When we pull up, we took the exposure. Couldn't wait to get a hold of him. Glenn, anytime you need early relief, pal, you call me.
He already knew. Believe me, he already knew.
I can't believe this.
Hey, guys, we'll pull up that question from Kevin Brown.
He's asking, as a chief in Freeport, how did he feel, meaning you, Jules, when his company officer in the FDNY didn't do something he maybe agreed with? Can you read it okay, question. In case I didn't come across the right way with it?
I see that. As a chief in Freeport, how did he feel when his company officer in the FDNY didn't do something? Oh, yeah. Sometimes I just obviously had to bite my tongue when they, I would have done it maybe something different, but you sit back and go, hey, I'm not the boss here. I'm just a fireman. So.
Yeah, that got to be, I guess,
for a volunteer. That's got to be a weird though.
Especially if you're a chief and then you pull up to a job and then the chief's maybe doing something a little different than you might do.
I know,
and that's a lot of rank to jump, if you're a fireman as a chief,
I hear you.
That's a little bit. If you're a lieutenant, you could or a captain, at least you could go up to the chief and say, "Hey,
suggest."
why do we do this?
Right?
Yeah, right.
My wife asks me all the time, why don't you take the test? Take the test. I'm like, why? Then I have to leave 2:36. I don't want to leave. I thought I could end up in Manhattan.
Who wants to do that? Bouncing around, bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, God rest his soul, Ed Garrity. After he got Battalion 9, we were at the Firehouse Expo in Baltimore, and he grabs me on the side and he asks me to be his aide in July of 2001. And I told him, I said, Chief, I said, I appreciate the offer, but I said,
wow,
you come back to 39, I'll drive you in heartbeat. But I said, I'm not going to Manhattan. I said, Manhattan isn't my cup of tea.
That took some balls to turn him down since he brought you over, man. Woo!
I know it was hard, but
yeah.
Did you know Timmy? His brother?
Timmy?
Did you know
Garrity?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we work with him.
Yeah. In fact, I come up from Delaware for his funeral.
Did what was I going to say? Who took over Garrity's spot when he left?
In the 39, we had
no. In 236 when you were there.
Oh, when he left as captain.
Yeah.
It was I think Kevin McCabe got it when he left. What was it? Hugh Mulligan. I can't remember.
How many captains you go through there, fella?
God, we had Hugh Mulligan, we had McCabe, we had McEwen, and I think there might have been one more.
I mean, while I was there, I think there was 2 bosses went through there, actually. Now that you say that.
But you were in that area for what, 8 years, Ruff? 9 years?
Almost 9 years, yeah.
That's a long time.
Remember the bosses? There was a few lieutenants that went through there. I remember when Paulie Canapis was bouncing around when he got that spot. I remember.
Yeah.
That's how I remember him, because he used to bounce around. There was a few other people there that I remember.
I got Capozzi. Lieutenant Capozzi came in on that. They had our spot open for the 6 months for training. Then after his 6 months, Capozzi comes in, and he's like, "Hey, tonight's my last tour." I'm like, "What do you mean it's your last tour?" He goes, "Well, Captain McEwen just sent the paper over to Chief Keys that he wants to keep the spot open again." So I was a little annoyed. I'm like,
Chief Keys, I remember.
Oh, yeah, me and Keys, we had a lot of fun together.
Yeah, me too.
We had a few words now and then.
Any finger poking going on there, bro?
He didn't like some of my
He didn't
answers.
like me, man. He didn't like me.
Allegedly.
But so I called McEwen at home. I'm like, Cap, what are you doing? I said, we work with the guy. We like the guy. I said, nothing for nothing. I said, as a senior guy, I think you would have came and asked me what we think before you tell me you don't want him here anymore. He goes, oh, you guys really want him? I said, yeah. So McEwen called the 3-9, talked to Keys, and they threw the paper out. And Keys calls me and said, hey, your boy's staying. I said, oh, great. And 2 weeks later, I get hurt. I'm out.
And you were out?
Well,
that's what Kubes did to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruff, come on back.
I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll come back. Listen, take care. It was great seeing you.
Yeah, right?
Chief Daly was saying Mike Lee.
Oh, yeah, Mike Lee, right. How could I forget Mike Lee?
Oh, speaking of finger poking, Chief Daly said.
Did not poke him.
What? Was your finger wailing? Was your finger shaking?
Oh, yeah.
We had come close.
We had a couple of Googles with Chief Keys. He didn't like some of my answers.
It happens. Louis knows all about that, but you're all about the company, right?
Listen, I liked him, but he just was a certain way. Just, I mean, in the end, he's the chief, but.
Oh yeah, well we beat 2 1/4 into one of the border boxes at Euclid and Sutter, and we pull up to the corner, flames out the window, people are yelling, So I pull up, 2 1/4, 4 blocks down. So a week or so later, with the firehouse, he comes in and he's like, obviously 2 1/4 upset. You jacked them out of their box. I said, hey, I didn't come in that tall and say, hey, I'm going to screw 2 1/4 out of a job. And I said, we can't speed down Euclid Avenue with all the potholes. And I said, Chief, nothing for nothing. Change your tours. We know who's getting on our rig and we're going. Change your tours because I've been down there to drive and everybody's figuring who's riding here, who's riding here. So I finally told Chief Keys, you snooze, you lose.
That's it.
Billy Sider was the 8. He looked at me, looked at Keys and just shook his head. He goes, I don't think the Chief wanted to hear that answer. I said, well, that's the only answer I got for you. They snoozed.
This is lost. Brooklyn. This is Brooklyn, not the Bronx, right, bro? I mean, this is what we do, right?
I got a couple of buddies up in the Bronx, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They stop and go ahead, come on.
No, you go, no. You know what? You know what? You fuck my sister. Come on, go. Come on.
Yeah.
I just spoke to Chief Coward a couple of days ago. I'm trying to get him on the show.
Another good guy. Yeah. I went down. One of the 8s from 2 1/4 got hurt, and Coward called me next and come down to be the 8. I was down there for I think 2 tours. They thought he was supposed to be out long term, Rooney, and he ended up coming back, and I ended up going back to 236. But I had the pleasure of driving Keys a few times. Had a lot of fun with him. Coward driving Chief Garrity, God rest his soul, and he was down there. He'd call up a couple of times and see if I was working.
What was the other one? I remember the chief there. Was it Cecil? What was
another? Was Chief Ellison, same last name. That was a pisser.
Ellison.
Yeah.
Ellison.
I can detail down there to drive 2 1/4 one night, and a couple of guys on 107. They're like, "Hey," he says, "Chief Ellison's upstairs." He says, "Relative?" So I figured I must have some fun. I'm like, "Yeah, it's my father." You're kidding me? I said, "No." I said, "We try to keep it quiet, So now we're coming down having dinner. So I'm like, "Hey, Dad," I said, "what are you getting me for Christmas this year?" He goes, "The same thing I got you last year. Fucking nothing." So that's why I like Mom best. And these guys are sitting around the table going, "What the hell?" I'm like, I said, he goes, "Yeah, that's why I like Mom best. She'll take care of me." And they're like, "Holy shit." And we just cracked up laughing. They're like, "What's so funny?" I said, "The first time I met him when I worked here a couple of months ago."
No shit.
He's not my father. Like, holy Christ, you had us going.
Dad, can I call you Dad?
Yeah.
Is that Jimmy Ellison, the senior?
Nah.
No.
No,
Jimmy wasn't Ellison. He was Elson.
Elson.
Oh, Elson.
Yeah. I forget Chief Ellison's first name. God, but he was a good guy. I had a lot of fun with him.
Southern. So my friend Billy Burns said it was
Chief Southern.
He's my friend now. Friend.
There was somebody else there too that I remember. I'm trying to remember who else was there. But
I gotta say this story. When I was chief for Freeport, when I was running for chief, Ray and I talked about it the other day. He gets a kick out of it. I'm running for chief in Freeport, 1985, 86. I get the nomination for my company, which I was thrilled to death. One of the best companies in Freeport. Shout out the host company, one, home of the Nighthawks. They're great guys. Put me in for chief. So now I'm working for the village, and the superintendent of the public works grabs me in the parking lot like 2 weeks before the election. Comes over, he says, "Hey, I'll say, here, you're running for chief. Good luck, congratulations. But just to let you know," he says, "if you win the election, don't think you're going to be going to all the calls." So I looked, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, if you win, you don't have to go to all the calls." He says, "There's no need for a chief to go to a dumpster fire or a car fire. I expect you to stay, at work." I said, "Nothing for nothing, but that's what I'm running for chief for, to go to all the calls. So if a call kicks in, I'm going." And he just looked at me. I win the election. A week and a half later, a nonsense call. I pull out of the DPW, but instead of going right out, I purposely went around past his office, lights and sirens. I waved to him, and took off. They're like,
the only thing would be better if you were flipping the bird out the window.
I can't believe you did that. Like, I just want to know. I was responding to the call.
Maybe he doesn't know who I am. I'm the guy.
I'm the chief. I don't know if you know who I am.
Yeah, guys are like, "Oh man." It's like, yeah.
Funny thing about firemen.
Gods, we had some other pictures in there, didn't we? Have some other.
We had a couple. Yeah, which ones you want to go? Because I have him.
What's the funny thing about firemen, bro?
Yeah,
night and day. They're always
night
firemen.
and day. They're always firemen.
236.
This is one of his last ones here, 236. Before that, I have there with 236. But we have to do the honors here and then pay a little.
Well, we can honestly say he's part of the crew, bro. You know what that is?
43 years.
He's part of the I Married Up Club. Good for you. Good for you, Jules.
And thank God she has technical skills, because
thank God.
When I called him up, it was like
he would have been like,
he was like, "Where do I attach this 2.5? I have no idea."
Yeah, he would have been like,
I hear you.
There it is.
"Hey, Jules, sign on to the
Come on, man.
And I'm telling her what Lou's telling me. She goes, "I know." I said,
She was getting mad at him. I'm like, "All right, don't tell her anymore. That's it. Don't say anything else." I'm like, let's go to the side and hook your phone up so that at least if we have
I'm
to,
not a computer guy, let me tell you.
That's freaking hilarious.
Guys know that.
Oh, look at Grogan. Grogan's photo saying Force Tube is always a good location when it comes in for a phone alarm.
Oh, Force Tube.
What's that?
That's a block over there, Force Tube.
Force Tube. That's a one-way street going the other way, but we go against traffic, and we cut off about good 45 seconds.
It's like this.
I love taking that going up there. That gave us a good shot to beating 332 in every now and then.
Wait, we're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let them in if they're first, right?
No, after you. No, after you.
Yeah. If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby.
If you could read this, you are now second due.
Well, how'd you wind up getting hurt, bro? What happened?
Banged my knee up for the fourth time.
Feelings. You what?
Yeah. It's surgery finally on my knee, torn meniscus, and
that was it. You were done.
He was 75 years old. I mean, what do you want to
Close.
Keep lobbing him up.
At that point, maybe he broke his hip or something. He slipped and broke his hip.
Yeah, slipped. It's a nice job in February. Cold as hell. Slipped on the ice, banged it up against the rig. I charged 107's tower. And from what I gathered, I guess it wasn't fully connected all the way. And they were getting the bathroom screaming at me to shut it off. So I went running back and slid. As I shut the thing off, my knee just into the running board. And I'm like, that's going to leave a mark.
Right.
Down goes
the guy next to you didn't say, "What the fuck are you doing?" The guy probably said, Hey, Jules, you okay? Are you all right?
Those 290 guys, you know?
Get out of the way. Flopping around on the floor.
Go down there, drive those guys. We go out to a gas leak, and I'm looking at my rearview mirror, and I got 103s on my rear bumper. I'm saying to myself, if I have to stop for an emergency, they're going to be in the hose bed.
No.
We get back to the firehouse, and they're like, "Dude, you got to pick up the pace a little bit." I said, "I don't know the streets around here like I do, by 236. So I said, "You know what? You go first next time, and I'll follow you."
I'll follow you, baby. Just get me water. That's it.
That's it. Get your water.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Where's
What
the
about
other
getting
picture? There
wa-
was a picture with like a whole team of guys there or something somewhere.
We have the group of guys with you. We have the ex-chief, or I'm sorry, his rookie chief story. That if he wants to share that with his.
Oh,
Wow, look at all that snow.
that's it. Who's that big guy in the middle there?
Yeah, who's that big guy?
The Neanderthal guy.
This guy dragging his knuckles with the porn star mustache. Who's that guy, bro?
1993, man. Chiefs were going away for a weekend. They were 10-minute horn about going because we were going to get a nor'easter. And we told them, go enjoy yourselves. We got it. The ex-Chiefs will take care of the town. You guys go have good fun. They left in a snowstorm on Friday morning going upstate New York. And the snow hit like unbelievable. And myself got the Chief Tucholsky. Obviously, everyone knows Big Ray. Chief Holner over on the right there. And Chief Kevin Knoll all got deputized for the weekend. And we had a blast. We had so many freaking runs that weekend. It was unbelievable.
Where was this picture taken? By the firehouse?
No, in the parking lot of Freeport High School.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
This looks like a spot for a picture.
Yeah, everybody got. When we called Bill Bennett up, he came in, took the picture for us.
Bennett.
Nice.
Jimmy Graham saying John Belnavis. Who's John Belnavis?
Oh, another good guy. Another good captain. Yeah, we had a lot of captains, I guess. Christ. Almost
It looked a
forgot
little
on
frozen up on this one.
Yeah, that was a cold January in Miller Avenue, Freeport. My buddy Jerry Fester. We come out and we got to take a picture of it. You guys are iced up. I'm like, yeah, just a little bit.
Fucking A.
So when you say before, like hose one and all that, like where is 218? He has a 218. Is that?
That's the truck company. They're on Church Street. That's Hairshakins and Newberry's and Ray McGuire's company.
So why don't they have truck one engine? Why do they have like such a large number on that? You know what I'm saying? Like if you only have 5 firehouses, why do they don't have 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that?
Oh, some of the like in my place, hose one. Some of the helmet shields say hose one. Some have the county number 211. Hose 2, and some have 212. So truck company is truck
one. I want to know.
But some of them have 218 or 217. 217 is the tower ladder. It used to be the snorkel.
And that's the county number?
Yeah, the county number. So
you still live over there, Jules?
No, I'm in Delaware.
Oh.
I moved in Delaware in 2015.
Did you?
Had a house built here in Middletown, Delaware, half hour south of the Delaware Bridge, and half hour north of Dover Motor Speedway.
Right next to this guy.
Come on, man.
Thank God he's far away.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Jules.
Is there a lot of retired
He's
guys?
in Wilmington.
There's a lot of retired guys down there with you?
Yeah, from what I gather. I got a lot of, you got New York City police officer. I got my cousin who's a retired Freeport police officer. And I'm sure there's a bunch of firemen down here. You know, every once in a while I'll meet. I met some old guy like last year in the mall.
I thought that's when you were looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Some old guy. He told me I had a hat on. He starts talking. He's
talking about him all wrong.
Retired from the Bronx. But,
so what were you doing up? Didn't we just see you in Syracuse?
Yeah.
What, you make the trip just for Syracuse?
Yeah, well, I go up to Freeport like twice a month to help guys out. I go to the meetings.
Oh, all right. So I was going to ask you, do you still see the guys from Freeport?
Yeah, I come up and, they go out and have a training. I'll go with them and, check things out and give them
You didn't
my
join
expertise.
anything down there? You didn't join down there?
Is it a volley or paid down there? What is it?
The only paid department in Delaware is Wilmington. Everybody else is volunteer.
Really?
But like my town, Middletown, they have a paid ambulance during the day. Nighttime install volleys. From 6 to 6, they have a paid ambulance.
Tell me you haven't stopped at that firehouse at all.
Just twice.
And
their firehouse, their biggest fundraiser is their banquet halls. I walked into their banquet hall. I know you guys live on Long Island, know the Call House?
Yeah.
I walked into their banquet hall in Middletown. I thought I was walking into the Call House. I was like,
wow.
Holy Christ, this is... Oh, yeah, because we rent it out. I'm like, what, just the firemen? Oh, no, anybody who wants to rent it.
Huh.
I'm like, wow, this is freaking
That's
amazing.
how they pay for those new rigs, bro.
Hey,
No,
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. You're not taking any runs in now with them, right?
Nah.
You're not saying, hey, back in the day, this is how we used to do it in 236. 236, we do it this way. No.
You're not first, you're last, bro.
Yeah, if you're not first. Yeah.
He'll be first in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
what is that, bro?
That's my little side job I do once a year down at Dover Motor Speedway.
What do you do?
I work the gate. My good best friend, family, Paul Russer, and another ex-chief from my company from Freeport. He started working there when he moved to Delaware when he retired from the school district, and he hounded me for a couple of years before I moved. And I was like, NASCAR? Nah, I got no time for that. He goes, it's great. Come on down. Nah. So as soon as I moved here in 2015, he told me, don't make plans for this weekend in October because you're already working. I already signed you up to work. So I'm like, God, you got to be kidding me. But I fell in love with it. It's he since retired 2 years ago, but I'm still down there working. We closed the main gate right by the start-finish line. And I've been there since, like I said, 2015. We only have one race a year now the last couple of years. They took our second race in October and moved it to Nashville because they own that track.
Dover's the short track, right? That's the short one?
Yeah, the Monster Mile.
Yeah,
Miles the Monster.
Did you get to drive that thing or just sitting in it?
That one day I just sat in. But working in September or October, that was great. I got working with the Rusty Wallace riding experience.
Uh-huh.
And I started working with them. They were showing us how to put the harnesses on to get people strapped in. And my last time there working, be coming up again in October. That was October, sitting there talking to one of their professional drivers. He happens to be a fireman up by Cooperstown. So we started shooting the bull about fire department and different things, and New York City Fire Department and 9/11 and this. One thing led to the next. He finally says to me, he goes, you've been working with us for 3 years with this Rusty Wallace. He says, has Jennifer ever said anything to you about hopping in the car and getting a ride along? I was like, no. He says, well, bro, today's your lucky day. He goes, go suit up, grab a helmet. When I get done with this guy, I'm taking you for 6 laps. You don't have to ask me twice. Went inside, boom, geared up. He got in. I got in the car. They strapped me in. 150 miles an hour.
What is that like?
It was like freaking awesome. I got videos. I did the first lap and a half holding my phone video. Then I finally said, to hell with it. So I had to hold on. But I made turn 3. I could have stuck my hand out and touched the wall. That's how close we came to the wall. It was rocking experience.
You should have said, hey, bro, this is how we do it in Eastern New York. Move over. I'm gonna show you.
Look out, 90's coming up on the left.
103's up our ass. Hold on a minute.
What do you get used to? Do you get used to that? Like by the 5th time, do you feel like I can't imagine. I do 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, right? I feel like that's fast. You could tell. Like, what is it like to do 150? Like, how does that?
I tell you, I thought I was going to be a little claustrophobic at first, getting in that car, and but it was like you just driving. It was weird, but it felt great. It's like and he goes, I would love to go a little bit faster, but he says they got the governor set, and I could have hit the switch, but he goes, God forbid I hit the switch, and I would have gotten an accident. You in the car, I'd be out of a job.
Liable, right?
Yeah.
How fast is that? How fast do they go? Are they going 200, 180? What do they go?
I think they're usually around 180.
Yeah.
Come on, do I get do 200 in a Hellcat,
it's
bro?
only a mile track.
Told me about it, allegedly.
Yeah, Talladega, I think that they're probably hitting close to 2. That's a crazy track. But
now, how is it like when he's going into the so you get the straightaway over there? It's really not much of a straightaway, right? You're just going
mile track. It's he floors it like then you hear him come off and we're probably doing the turns probably 100.
So he comes off, then
and right back
revs it back up, then comes down, revs up, comes down.
Yep.
So you're doing that during the course of a race. How many times are they freaking doing that? Right?
Oh,
it's crazy.
400 laps.
Oh my God!
It's 400 miles for the race.
Shit.
And then imagine having like other cars. You were all alone on the track, right? Obviously.
No, there was people who paid to drive. We were passing them like they were standing still. A couple of them that
That's dangerous having those people out there.
You know, he's
digging around them.
Yeah.
He'd whip out past him. I'm going, holy Christ, you know. But
that's pretty wild, man.
Then we had one guy hit the wall. One of the guys who was driving. Just before that, he was complaining that the car wasn't going fast enough for him. And they're like, God, it's going, you know. So then he takes off, and 2 laps later, he's
doing donuts.
Turn 3, he hit the wall, and
I was doing donuts.
My Hellcat does 200. Whoa, look out!
Gonzo will find out when he comes. We go.
Yeah, let's go. We
Robert
go for
Moses,
it.
bro. We'll take you out on the Robert Moses. We'll be doing 200.
I mean,
all
right. I got one.
Oh, go ahead. Good.
I got one last one for you here to share a little story with this guy while we're talking about the track stuff.
There you go, Joey Logano. Caught 22.
Oh, Mickey, another guinea.
Yeah. Yeah, once you start working there, when I first started there, I didn't know anybody. I'm like, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Now, being there since 7, 8 years, now you recognize who they are, you know. So as they're walking around, you see him, and you're like, hey, you know, he was standing behind me. I was doing something. I turned around. I'm like, hey, Joey Logano, how about a photo? He goes, go for it, pal.
What are you actually doing there, Jules? What are you actually working?
Right at the start-finish line, there's a big gate that we have to close. They can't start the race until the gate is closed and the officials come out. We have to tie it shut with all the big bolts and stuff.
Kind of like the Bronx Tale scene. Now you just can't leave.
Now you can't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now you can't.
Like Thunderdome.
No, we have a lift. My son works the lift. There's 3 guys up in the lift to do the top ties. And
they get paid $82 an hour to put zip ties on the fence.
Yeah, I wish it was $82 an hour. Yeah, well, it's pretty cool.
Hey, you're not doing that for the money, man. You're just looking to be there, right?
Yeah, that's it. I love it.
Experience
you know?
there.
Good for you.
When we lost
but
our
there's
second
no
race,
better rush. You can get in that car. There's no better rush though when you used to chauffeur 236, right, bro? I mean, come on. I miss that the most.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
Let me ask you. A lot of guys say the same thing. I talk to a lot of retired guys. Do you have dreams that you get a run and you can't find your bunker gear?
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't have dreams.
No? Holy shit. I must talk. I'm going to say about 75% of the guys have the same dream that I have, that you get a run and you can't find your bunker gear. You can't put it on.
Not too long ago, one of my buddies said the same thing.
He did?
I heard it somewhere. I couldn't remember who heard it or where it came up, but now you reminded me. But yeah, he had the same very similar dream.
I talked to a lot of retired guys, and they say the same shit. The bells go off, and they go to put the button, they can't find it.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what that means. Gonzo, could you look that up?
I'll work on it for next show.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my eye on you. Good answer. I like it.
It's like my first night tour on 224. My first night tour working, and the captain tells the senior guy, "Hey," he says, "keep an eye on Jules. So if we get something in the middle of the night, you know, he gets up." Looking at the captain, you don't have to worry about me getting up. I've been doing this for 16 years already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he started laughing. I said, "Yeah, I'll be up with the tones."
You know what? I've never asked this question. Ruffy, have you ever slept through a run?
Never.
Yeah,
Jules?
I missed. I quote unquote missed a run. In 117, they had the radio blasting, and all the guys were in the kitchen, probably allegedly doing what they were doing, and I was sitting in the TV room, but like all the lights were on. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock. They were cooking dinner, and the beep-boop went off, and the guys didn't grab me. Like, I think they did it just to break my balls. Like, I came back, but it was like a pull box or something. But that's the only run I ever missed.
What about you, Jules?
Well, I missed one. We just came back from a run with 236, about 4:45 in the morning. I went back up to the bunk room, and I must have been out like a light, because they said 10 minutes later they had the run. And I didn't hear nothing. I heard them when the door opened. They were coming back in. I was like, "Holy shit!" I come slide the pole, and they're like, "Thanks for joining us."
I mean, I have had runs where I was in bed, but the guys would come grab me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I could have possibly missed a run, but I never did.
When you were in an officer, you mean?
Yeah, when I was an officer. Like, guys would come up, or, you know, I'd hear it on the bitch box, you know, like they. Ruff, we gotta run, you know, something like that, you know.
Are you coming down?
You guys?
Yeah, actually, well, it was one of those. It slept through partial of it where dispatch, when the phone rings in the middle of the night, something's not right. So we had one when I was captain. I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, where is it?" Of course, you're in panic mode because you're already 2-3 minutes behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, I never missed a run, but I got to say, the only time I ever the lieutenant I was driving, Lieutenant Tedeschi, sprained his ankle or broke his ankle on a run. So I was acting officer. And don't you know it? We have one run and a fucking guy misses the run. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
You kidding?
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name. Salvison!
One job.
I had that 224 and our lieutenant got hurt. And I was 4 years on the job, and I was a senior guy. So, you got the seat if anything comes in until, another boss comes in. I'm praying. I'm like, "Guys, just give me something, About an hour later, we get a car fire in the BQE. I jump in the front seat. Don Taney, the chauffeur, he looks at me, big smile on his face, because you've been waiting for this all day, haven't you? I said, you fucking know it. Right, the front seat. Let's go.
Shit. And I do have one last photo if you guys want. I know I brought it up at the beginning. I don't know if you wanted to touch on it one last time. I know we talked about Big Ray.
Yeah, I don't know none of those guys, so I don't know. They dragged me into that photo.
Man. That is Salka, you, me, Ruffy, Ray.
Ray, okay. I was going to say Ray McCormick, right? Okay.
McGuire, Klett. And the other guy, I think, is a chief from, where is he? From Baltimore, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know those two guys next to Ray.
Ruffy, we just saw him in he was with
Soka's a pisser. I love going to his seminars.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah. Oh, Soka. I think they're gonna have one out in Selden and September 9th.
What's that?
The seminar out in Selden Fire Department. It's gonna be Norman, Soka, and Richardson.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
We just drafted Norman for a show on standpipes, right, Ruff?
Yes.
Oh, I got to call him as a matter of fact. Yep.
Yeah, saw him in Syracuse real quick.
Great guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little controversy around some stuff we were talking about, right, Ruff? About the standpipes.
Yeah.
I like controversy.
You were a standpiper never introduced?
What?
What was that? Where's the picture of the 236 guys, Gons?
Yeah, I only the ones that we have.
You don't have that picture?
No, the only ones that I have the ones you sent me in the email, the two.
Maybe I didn't send that picture. I had a bunch.
And then the other ones
all right.
So that's all.
I stalked Jules's Facebook page. Where are all those classic cars that you have pictures of? You go to car shows? Is that what those cars are?
Yeah, all down by me since I've been here in Delaware. It's like once the spring hits, summertime, it's like every other weekend. And some of them, it's the same people, same cars.
Right,
some
right,
are different.
Right.
But the Citgo
you have an
gas
old car?
station. Excuse me?
You have any old cars yourself?
Nah. But we
It'd be
like,
good. One of these like this.
Yeah.
Auga.
And all the firehouses down here in Delaware, I've been to a couple for different things, and they all have one bay set aside
for a classic
rope around for their classic firemen. It's one of their old time pieces. They either handheld. It's like wow, and then they get their own little private little room for it.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, you can do that when you have when you don't pay that much for property down there. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I was just going to ask you something.
Paying those high taxes in New York.
You do, right?
Oh yeah,
sure you do.
God, and no sales tax, that kills me.
No sales tax. You know
Come
what?
on, man.
Come on, man.
You dick.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on.
Oh, Darren asked, what did Patty Lee right there? I missed that. What did he?
Yeah, I was trying to find it up in there before.
What was it?
Let me get it. It was scary. Here we go. It was scary when
Kev came down my street.
couldn't see over the dash.
That's you. I wanted to hit your garbage cans. I was aiming for him, bro.
I want to hit people with garbage cans. And I have somebody sent me this. A little bit of the squad today. Delivered a couple babies this morning.
Yeah, I saw that this morning on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. You know what? Gonzo,
it was on Father's Day, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I know. I don't think I know one of those guys there.
Oh, but
Dane is it? Dane, you got Bones.
Where is
Wetzel?
Dane?
He's on the left, all the way left. That's Dane, McCoy. You got Wetzel. I forget who that other guy is. I know that
I
other guy.
couldn't see him up close enough to. I could probably pull him up on the phone a little bit better.
Oh wow, good job, brothers. Doing it. We got
very
the.
nice.
As a matter of fact, we got the 25-year reunion coming up, right, Roof? In July.
It is, yes.
25 years.
You go back to 290, 103. You know anybody?
Actually, we have the 20. No, right now probably no.
That's
Absolutely
crazy. I mean, there's a couple of Freeport guys now in 236.
not. We got a breakfast on the 23rd this week in Seaford. Poster thing. I think they got like 45 guys going.
Oh, you're hitting it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, you got any other fire stories before we get to the old school tip of the day, Jules?
Anybody else you wanted to talk about? Anything? Are you're totally out of the fire service then? Totally out for the most. You're not
I'm
teaching.
still a member. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, doing none of that stuff.
You just come to hang out with the salty dog guys, the Getting Salty guys.
Why don't you teach? Why don't you do any of that stuff?
I don't know. I've kicked it around a few times, but
He did it back in '92.
Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Who's that, Tom Selleck?
Look at that stash when it was brown.
That stash, wasn't it? Holy shit.
Flavor saver.
Flavor saver. Yummy.
Yummy.
Yeah, it was fun teaching the probies back then. It was fun.
Yeah.
But now,
Hey, what'd you have for lunch, Jules? Hold on a minute. Yep.
It's a linguine with the waterclama sauce.
beautiful thing. Now look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, look at it.
Wow.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
Gonzo's hitting him out of the
He
park.
is, dude. He is the
Look
sound
at him
effects
laughing
guy
at
now.
himself too over there. Look,
It's funny as hell, man. Like, how can this shit not be funny?
Right? You got
It's
to
funny
laugh.
to
man.
us. It's funny to us.
it is funny. No,
It's funny to all find
My
it, bro.
face hurts.
It's good stuff. All right, so let's get to the old school tip of the day. Hold on a minute. We got to tee him up. Are you ready, Jules? You got your old school tip? Hold on.
I'm ready. Tip of
All
the day.
right, wait. We gotta do it
Hold
properly. You ready,
on.
Gons?
Hey.
I'm ready.
Hold on.
It's time for the old school
School tip of the day. Bring him
All
up,
the
Gons.
chauffeurs out there, dump the tank. You don't need hydrant water. You can dump the tank, 500 gallons. Put a lot of fire out before you get water from the hydrant.
Plain and simple. Look at that. Dump the tank.
Just make sure they know they're on.
That's
If
it.
you
Tell you
dump
what, use that tank water.
If you dump the box, dump the tank.
tank.
That's what I'm saying.
And then just let them
That's
know
what
when
I'm
they're on
saying.
hydrant. You're here,
And you
you're
know
on
what?
a hydrant.
I'm gonna add. Can I add something to that, Jules?
Sure.
Something that I used to do. Once I dump the tank and get on hydrant water, I just pull that fucking thing and I make sure I fill the tank back up in case you lose it.
That's it. Fill a tank. God forbid you lose the hydrant. You still got 500 gallons to get your brothers out.
Excelente. You,
You know something.
Jules,
That's 500.
you're
yeah.
good.
That was on Garrow's big thing. You remember that, Kubes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
That and doing
500?
locks on the picnic table at 3 a.m. That. I think
had
he
a
was just testing us, bro.
He
the
had
bucket.
a bucket of locks.
I'd be sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning like this.
Every bucket, every lock locks you would never see.
Right. He had them in a 5-gallon pail, and you'd have to tell him all about it and how you would get it, or
Probably
how you'd go
100,
through the
at least
lock.
100 in there.
Yeah.
80, 100.
Right. And I think he used to call the drill at 3 o'clock in the morning on purpose.
Yeah,
Chief
keep
Daly
it-
said the same thing. Remember to refill the tank in case you lose the water.
Ah,
That's it,
there you
yeah.
go. Amen.
That's,
Jules,
that's
thank
how
you
I was
so
taught in
much.
Freeport.
I love engine, guys. Great job.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank
Can't
you.
put
loves
the fire
engine
out without
guys.
us.
And 236 guys. That's what he loves.
No.
I do too. I tell you, see, I knew he was going to bring that up. 236 would have been my spot. Would have been my spot if I had a choice.
Would have loved to have you too, man. But let me tell you,
We would have had fun.
I
Jules.
wish I could have went there from Proby school, but
Hey, you got there. That's all that matters.
that's it. Happy to get there.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it.
They're still
Kitchen
doing work
table.
over there.
You know, like I stopped by there about 2-3 years ago. I stopped in there, and the first guy who turns the rig and looks around. He looks at me, and I'm like, I used to work here. I had no idea who this guy was.
I was a senior guy here. He was like, hey, who's this old timer in here,
Yeah,
Robin?
who is this guy?
Yeah, I was
Was he
heading home
looking
from
for a
Delaware.
handout
And
or
I had to
something?
use the bathroom. I said, let me go and I'll stop at the firehouse. Then I'm like, I hope the combination's the same. So I'm
Any
like, oh,
hippies
good.
moving in over there?
What's that?
Any hippies moving in over there by 236?
I don't know, but they're doing a lot of building all around there. Right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of lots over by that area.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Across the street now and down where the stores, where the Home Depot and them are. Now they got more stores. I'm like, holy, when they put this stuff up?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I know every once in a while coming in, if I get stuck in traffic, I'll get off at Pennsylvania and take the back through East New York and then go back onto the conduit to get back on the belt. And I'm like, wow, where'd this come from?
Yeah. You believe they built buildings on those 2 lots on Sheffield and Livonia? Can you imagine that?
I know.
Like big buildings. Like who the heck is gonna? I don't know. Maybe
Before I retired, I was there on a roster one night. I decided to go over there for the truck, and the little kid comes back to the back window. Hello, Mr. Fireman. He's waving in the window. I'm going, what the hell? They built the places right behind you.
Right behind, but the lot behind the firehouse there was 2 lots next to the firehouse, and across the street they built
holy
a big building, like a
the
6-story
old
building
days,
next to the tracks.
The old days of a vacant neighborhood.
Yeah, they're all gone now.
Yep.
Too much money to be made now.
All right, so we got, like I said before, we got Frank Lieb coming on Thursday night. You got questions? Send it to.
Just met him in Syracuse.
That's
He
right.
went to dinner with us at Freeport. What a great
Send
guy.
it to KubesPodcast@gmail.com, or if you want to buck up a few bucks on Thursday night, if you got something important to say it. You got any shout outs, Roof?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Gons?
No, just happy belated Father's Day to all the pops out there.
Excellent.
Hope they had a great
Jules,
weekend.
thanks for coming on the show, bro. We really
Finally
appreciate
got
it.
him.
We got him.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I was shocked when Lou grabbed me. I was like, me?
We got to
Where
go.
he grabbed
Buddy.
you. It depends on where he grabbed you. If he grabbed you.
Yeah, well, I won't go into that.
Reach around.
But,
Never see where the horse bit me over here. Right over here.
I was shocked. Whoa! Who grabbed me over there?
Yeah,
all right,
fun.
guys. Thank you, Jules. We will see you Thursday night. Until then, stay low and go.
There you
All right,
go.
everybody. We'll see you at the big one.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Take care.